Having a well-structured resume is one of the best things you can do for yourself as a professional, whether entry, mid, or senior level. Hi, my name is Olega, an HR professional with 5 years of experience, and in those 5 years, it includes recruitment experience, and I have also been doing resume writing, LinkedIn profile optimization, and interview preparations with professionals at all levels. So in this video, I am going to be giving you resume writing tips that are going to help you, whether you're starting out in your journey or whether you are already, in a work environment and you're looking to transition into a new role and you just want to explore your avenues. So first things first, you need to have an ATS friendly template. We talk a lot about ATS, but it really is important because majority of recruitment nowadays is automated, and first, before your resume even gets to the recruiter or the hiring manager, it needs to pass or it needs to go through the ATS system. And so hence why it's important to ensure that you have an ATS friendly template. So ATS friendly templates, you can get that on Word. I highly advise against those resume templates that are built by graphic designers that you would find on Canva and other sites, because those aren't, like I said, those aren't built by HR professionals or people who have worked with the applicant tracking system. They are mostly built by graphic designers, and they are for optics, and that really doesn't help you in your journey. In as much as we live in the world of aesthetics and optics, it really doesn't help you. So you want to have a clean and easy to read ATS friendly template, and you can get that on Word, on Microsoft Word. You can just go and search resumes, and you can remove, if it has a picture. Most of them don't have like a section for a picture, but if it does, you can then just remove that section. And going into the structure now, and not just the templates, into the structure of your resume, your contact information should be at the top, and because it should be easy to find your contact information should we be interested in you as a candidate. And then now we have to comb through your resume to find contact information. That is a turn off. So if it's at the top of your at the top of your resume, all good and well. And you want, followed by your contact information, you want to have your professional summary. Please do away with objectives. Hiring managers don't care about your objectives, to be frank. And I'm sorry to say this, but it's the truth. We generally don't care. We want to get an indication of who you are and the type of skills that you have. Hence, professional summary. Just tell us a little about your experience and also, the skills that you possess. So it's basically what you bring into the table. Before we go into your resume, we've already had a bit of summary, because you have 5 seconds to catch my interest as an HR professional or as a recruiter. You have 5 seconds to catch my interest, and if I don't find that interest at the top, your professional summary gives me that interest. Me, mostly. This is not a one-size-fits-all, but there are other, instances where you'd go through like the whole CV, but the professional summary gives you the indication. It's like a trailer of some sort. If you are into movies and series, it's a trailer. And then I want to go through your CV. Even then, I'm not going to go into detail and look for everything. Hence, after a professional summary, you need to have a skills section. Your soft skills and majority technical skills. If you're starting out in your journey, and obviously you're graduates, you're fresh from varsity, you won't have that many technical skills. You may have a few, depending on on your profession and whether you do practicals and work integrated learning or something of the sort. But if you don't have technical skills as yet, no brainer. Excuse me, no brainer. Include Your soft skills, those still are important, and we still look at those, even if you, especially if you're in entry level. And then after your skills section, you need to have then now your work experience section. And this is for professionals or people who already have some sort of experience. So you need to list your experience, because that matters more now than your qualifications. And then below your experience, we want to see your qualification summary. And after your qualification summary, I always do this for the people that I, revamp or write resumes for. Systems experience. Most of us work with systems, so it's very important, because if you already have systems experience, it's really, even if you don't have experience with the systems that the current hiring company is using, but the fact that you've worked on a system before, it means that you can grasp and learn, and be able to adapt and transition to another system. It's just a matter of learning, but you already have some systems experience that you're bringing into the table. That is very important. And do not be afraid to list all the systems that you've worked on. If you haven't worked on any systems, your basic PowerPoints and things like that, include that as a graduate starting out, because at least we know that you have, some sort of slide constructing or construction skills, and we want to see that you have done something, you have some sort of experience. Yes, we will need to teach you the ways in which we do things, but we're not starting from scratch, so that is very important. So now that we have, I've given you the structure, you already have some sort of an idea of what your structure should look like. One more important thing, never include references in your resume. I know this sounds out of this world, because you want to be easily, or you want your prospective employer to be able to verify, your resume and everything that you've either said in the resume and at the interview, but do not. Some of your references sabotage you, and sometimes some of the recruiters would go ahead and contact your references prior to even offering you an interview. And if you have one of those sabotaging references in your resume, you've already lost because of that one person. And not everyone wishes you well, so always make sure. And also, people forget you. That's a no-brainer. So don't include references in your resume. Only give out references after you have been asked, when the company is interested in you, they're doing background checks, and then you can always go back to the person who you want to reference, to send as a reference, and just nudge them to say, hey, I sent your details to a company, or are you comfortable with me or with being my reference? I'm applying, blah, 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 things of that sort, so that they are aware when they get calls about you, they remember, because you've already briefed them. So that's why I always advise against that. And another most important thing is to customize your resume for each and every vacancy that you apply for. I know it sounds like a lot of work. It is a lot of work, but it is worth it, because different companies or different job posts have different, requirements. There's different keywords as well. And if you want to beat ATS, you will need to incorporate the keywords into your resume so that it positions you at the top, at least you're like in the top 20, and you get to your resume gets to the recruiter and it's not rejected by the system. Because majority of the Dear John emails, the rejection emails, are from the system, because your resume is not optimized for each and every position that you apply for. Your resume is not a one size fits all. you need to customize it for each and every position that you apply for. And it is very important that you read through the job ad in detail. Do not just browse through for the sake of browsing through, or for the sake of reading through and jump straight to the requirements of the position so that you can then apply, or try to optimize your resume to apply for the job. Read in detail. Check the tense in which the ad is written. Check keywords. This is where you pick up all those types of things, and also the skills that are required and the technical experience that is required, because majority of the time in the experience section or the requirements section, you just get your qualification and number of years of experience and professional body affiliation, if it's a requirement or a nice to have in the field. And that's about it. You don't really get that much detail about the skills and also the systems that are required. Some, I know, especially in tech, they will add the skills, the systems experience that they want in the requirements section. But for other positions, majority of the time they don't. But you're able to pick up all that important information when you read through the job ad. And that already, if you read through the job ad, now you're in a better position to customize your resume, and that customizing your resume in that manner puts you in a better position to beat the ATS system and get your resume to a recruiter. And if it gets to a recruiter after beating the robot, high chances are the recruiter is going to see it. And if you've structured it the way that I've given you, you are going to catch the eye of a recruiter, and there you go. And then you are one step ahead of, or not even one, actually 100 steps ahead of all the people who didn't even get to beat the ATS system, and maybe 10 steps ahead of everyone who has beat the ATS system, and the resume went to the recruiter, and the recruiter actually finds interest in you, and you get invited for an interview. And you see, like that, but it matters so much. And I know I said you shouldn't include like graphics and logos and everything, and this might be confusing and also like conflicting for, especially for creatives, because in the creative space, creatives want to play around with their CVs or resume to showcase their skills and everything. But please, your resume is not the place for that. That is why you have a portfolio. Your resume is there to get you that opportunity to showcase your work, to showcase your skills, and that's through your portfolio or the projects that you'll be given during the interview stage to present. And you need to declutter your resume. You need to make sure that you have used the same font across, and you have used the same format across your CV and different sections of your CV. And you need to also make sure that you bullet point either your experience or your skills, because we don't want paragraphs. The only paragraph you should have in your resume is your professional summary. We do not want to see paragraphs. We won't be able to read through paragraphs. And you need to check punctuation, check your spelling as well to ensure that it's correct. Check for any errors, basically grammatical errors and spelling errors, to just make sure that your resume is well structured and you are able to get your foot in the door of that opportunity that could be your big break. And I hope this helps. Good luck and all the best. I have also attached 2 templates below that are easy, readable templates, and also that are ATS friendly. So please feel free to use those templates and customize them so that you can get that opportunity. And that's it for today. I will come back with more tips and tricks